Yes, you heard me right. I had my son in my living room. Hey y'all, it's your girl Yasmin. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, 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 welcome. You're officially a baddie. So y'all, the girls have been asking me about my natural home birth. So I'm gonna tell y'all all about it. And I'm gonna do my makeup at the same time. So if you wanna hear my home water birth story, keep watching. Okay, so I found out I was pregnant in December of 2020. And at the time, I was definitely very dead set on that I didn't want to have to go to any hospital to have my baby. I did some research on having a home water birth, and I decided that I was going to reach out to an organization that specialized in it and kind of like just see. I just wanted to see what my options were, and what I found out was that, you know, my insurance covers it. I did have to pay, like, you know, out-of-pocket expenses, but other than that, you know, I was able to afford to do it. One of the reasons why I chose to do it also is that the Black female maternal rate is too high. I'm hearing in Black women's experiences when it comes to having children in a hospital is that they're not being listened to, that, you know, they're being perceived as they're strong, and when we have certain concerns, they're just not swift in action. Having an advocate was very important to me. So even though I decided to have a home water birth, I also researched into a doula and what services a doula provide, which is basically like if you need that emotional support or you need more education on what you could be doing, you know, to make sure that your baby is growing, progressing positively. But yes, overall, my experience having a home water birth was amazing. It was everything that, you know, I prayed for it to be, everything that I really mentally prepared for. Let me tell you something, okay? I mentally prepared to have this baby at home. Like, I literally manifested it. I created a vision in my mind of how I wanted it to go, what I wanted it to look like. I practiced in that area. So I really, like, literally, I would practice giving birth. I would practice it in my living room, giving birth, what I wanted it to look like, how, you know, how I wanted to feel. Like, I literally imagined that before I gave birth. I could be doing my makeup. Yes, y'all. So I literally manifested it. I created a affirmation board, and I would practice those affirmations. I practice like breathing techniques. Have y'all heard of hypnobirthing? Like hypnobirthing? Yeah, that. Someone had told me about hypnobirthing, and I researched that and I looked into it, and I liked what I found. It really helped shape the mindset that I needed in order to shape the experience that I was going to have. A lot of women would tell me, like, when it came to giving birth, like with their experience, like, you know, the pain, the labor pains was just too much, and it hurt really, really bad. And that's kind of like why they decided that they needed to get the epidural. And for me, it was more so of like, I reshaped how I saw the pain. Instead of seeing it as like just straight pain, it was more so of pain with a purpose. Like I'm bringing a human into this world with my body, and I have to trust that my body's gonna do what it was designed by God to do. And it did what needed to be done without me having to really, you know, force anything. Okay, so this is what happened. I gave birth to my son on a Sunday, like at 4 a.m. So I started feeling, you know, labor pains Saturday morning. And I had told my husband, I was like, we're gonna have a baby today. In my mind, I was feeling like, you know, I was on my period, like my period wanted to come, and I was feeling, you know, those menstrual cramps. But of course, them things got very severe when it came time to it. Listen, the labor pains, baby. This is the truth. And I like to rub it in with my finger. That's just me. Don't forget that your finger is a brush too. So I didn't even know what labor pains were. Like, one of my friends had to tell me that I was having labor pains. Like, I was like texting her, like saying, she was asking me like, you know, how everything was going, and because she knew my due date was coming up, and she was like, you know, well, how are you feeling? I'm like, you know, I feel like my period wants to come on. And she was like, girl, that's you having labor pains, okay, girl, baby's coming. I was like, oh snap, okay. So throughout the day, you know, they were really far apart that morning, but throughout the day they started getting, you know, closer together. So probably about around 9 o'clock, they was getting a little closer together. They was probably like about 30 minutes apart. And I called my midwives, letting them know. They told me wait until they get closer to call them. And then my doula, she, I let her know, she actually came by and checked on me. Oh, she was like, girl, if you could still talk right now, like have a conversation with people, you good. We might have a baby later on, you know, tomorrow, but you good, girl, you good. I was like, oh, okay. She was like, when you don't want to speak, that's when you know. So I was like, okay. Like, at the time, I didn't know, you know, what she was really talking about, right? So back to the story. So my doula left. She ended up going home and telling me, you know, like, when they get closer together, call me, I'll be back. I was like, okay, cool. She told me to try and get some sleep. Mind you, my contractions is starting to get closer together. So me and hubby, we lay down. We both get in the bed. Hubby, he fall asleep instantly. Cause mind you, it's like now 12 o'clock at night. While hubby is asleep, my contractions is starting to get like closer and closer together. Also, hubby had already filled up my pool. I had to rent my pool from my midwives. I had to rent it because I didn't, after it was done, I had to return it. I put the pool in the middle of my living room floor. Like I told you, I had practice. Set the mood, get my, you know, mood together, light my candles, have my music playing, you know, really like get into the mood. I would like practice mindset and meditating and just, you know, saying my affirmations, all those things. We took a parenting class that helped prepare me as well. So I definitely recommend, you know, taking those type of classes to prepare you for being a mom, you know. So I lay down and I start timing my contractions. My contractions is starting to get closer together. So I kind of like wake hubby up, and he, you know, he's like, call the midwives, and I threw up twice. The contractions were so strong, I just threw, you know, I was throwing up. I threw up twice. So I called my midwives and asked if that was normal. They was like, yeah, that's typically normal. So, you know, but my contractions is getting stronger and they getting closer together. So all my midwives, I tell them, you know, what's going on, and they say, okay, well, if your water breaks, call us back. So they already like on alert for me. So I'm laying down in the bed. The contractions hitting me so hard, y'all. They hitting me so hard. I'm grabbing the sheets of the bed, like holding on to the bed, like them things was something serious, okay? So right after I get off the phone up with my midwives, my water breaks. It was like a pee that I couldn't control. My midwives had given me a kit, type of like doctor's kit. So the kit had something that we could test my amniotic fluid to see if it was like pee or if it was actually amniotic fluid, which basically is an indication that you about to have a baby. So we tested it and it came back positive. So they was like, okay, we're on the way. At that time, that's when we started calling everyone. You know, we called, you know, our photographer, parents, you know, everyone that we had planned to be there, right? So at this time, you know, like I said, my contractions like got stronger and stronger, and I'm like, oh my goodness. At this point, I'm screaming. I am screaming. I'm like, babe, you need to make sure it's enough water. Put some warm water in the pool. We had already set the pool up because we thought we was having a baby in that morning. So he started boiling hot water up the pool so I could have like warm water in the pool. At this time, I'm like leaning over the sofa, good, like my body was doing what needed to be done. Like I felt like all I had to do was trust what my body was doing. So whatever it felt like it needed to do, that's what I did. At this time, y'all, I'm feeling my body pushing the baby out. My midwives isn't there. My family is just now starting to arrive. It was just my mom and my mother-in-law. My photographer hasn't even gotten there yet. My doula isn't there yet. Like everyone that's supposed to be there isn't there yet. I'm trying to tell myself to hold it in, baby. There is no holding that baby in, baby. The body said, let this baby out. Well, hubby, he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing. Like, he's not stressing me out. He's rubbing my back. I'm actually in the pool at this time. I'm screaming. I gotta let it out. I have to let it out. I'm screaming, because the contractions is strong. I'm screaming, but I'm trusting my body and letting it do what it do. And it's after my doula got there, like literally 2 minutes, I was holding on until my doula got there. Once my doula got there, I felt comfortable to go ahead and just like push, because I already knew, like I already felt my body saying, hey, it's time to help get him out. The moms is trying to time my contractions. At this time, when my doula gets there, she like comes up to me and she's like, hey, are you ready to push? And I was like, yes, because she could tell that he was crying. Like, I put my hand down there and I felt his head. Listen, I felt his head being there. Like, it was crazy. Craziness that, this is my experience. Felt his head. She knew what was going on. She gave me the okay to go ahead and start the process, and it was on, baby. Now, from the time that my labor pains got closer, super close together, and me pushing him out, that was probably like a total of like 5 hours. I was not in labor very long. It was like the blink of an eye. Once she gave me the okay to push, I pushed, and he came right out. Everyone was so surprised. I was like, he's here. That's how I announced him. I was like, he's here. And they're like, what? What, girl? They were like, oh my gosh, you did so good. Now, once he came, like, my midwives hadn't even made it there, y'all. My midwives hadn't even made it there when I started to push, mind you. They weren't even there. They were like a minute up the street. They literally walked in as I was like sitting there holding him on my chest. Like once I pushed him out, like I scooped him up out of the water and I just put him on my chest, and my doula, she was checking on him, making sure that, you know, like what she was supposed to do, the baby was okay, and making sure that he was breathing and everything like that. And once my midwives got there, it was like my midwives were my doctors in this situation. They was my doctors. They checked our heart rates. They made sure, you know, my placenta, they let my placenta stay attached to him for an hour. They helped me move to my bed and in and out the shower, and like they did everything. Like it was an amazing experience having midwives and this type of support that I had at that time. Excellent job. Like I would highly recommend, you know, them. Highly recommend them or having the experience, because I truly felt loved on throughout the whole thing. So thankful for my doula. Like without her, I don't think, you know, I would have had the courage to go, but it was because of her energy, her being there, her supporting me knowing that she had the background and the credentials to help save me and my baby if anything needed. She was there. And then of course, once my midwives got there, they sprung into action, and I really, really loved my experience with my midwives. Like, so once my midwives got there, they helped me get out of the tub, go to my bedroom, get in my bed. You know, if I wanted to take a shower at that time, they helped me get into the shower. I wanted to take a shower at that time, so they helped me get into the shower, get out the shower. Like, they were very delicate with me. They were very delicate with my baby. Like, it was an amazing experience. I was so happy that just everyone, my family was able to be surrounded by me. I was surrounded by love. I felt loved by, you know, the people that were taking care of me. The environment was love. And I'm just, you know, really thankful and grateful for the experience and the way that it happened. It truly was a God-given experience. And God really helped. He really did. He helped me to manifest what I wanted out of that experience. At the end of the day, life is what you make it. It's really about how you control your mental and what you think about things. Listen, let me tell you, this brow gel, my Be Magnificent Beauty Brow Gel, is everything you need to keep your brow hairs in place. You don't want them to go nowhere. You want to freeze them. Say, stop, don't move. This brow gel. Look at how it just lays my hairs in place. This is really my key to getting the feathered brow look. It's really taming my brows in between me having brow appointments, you know, doing my own brows. I have to find time to do them, and this brow gel definitely helps me get them together and keep them in place in between my brow appointments. So definitely grab you some. It will be in the links below. Okay, y'all, so that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for anyone who had any questions about having a home water birth. It's a very relaxing experience. I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10 experience, okay? So if you have the opportunity to, you know, always check your options. It was very cost effective for me. Like once I paid everything that I needed to pay up front, I didn't have no bills out after giving birth. I didn't have no bills, no hospital bills or anything like that. So yeah, something to think about. Okay, y'all, that's it. I'm gonna catch y'all later, and you know, make sure you like, share, and subscribe.